welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you a Neon Smokey Effect. Love this effect. It's a great look and it makes the nail beautiful. Here's some things that you're going to need for this look. You're going to need an UV or LED light, some rubbing alcohol, some black nail polish, white nail polish, and then I have a shiny or glossy top coat as well as a matte coat. Then you're going to need your nail sticks or whatever you choose that you want to paint on, as well as a buffer. And then of course the pigments. You're going to definitely need the pigments with an applicator and then a dust brush, as well as just any type of fine brush that you can use. It really works with anything. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is buff the nail. And the reason why you want to buff the nail is because if you were to just paint straight onto that shiny nail, chances are it's probably going to lift and it's probably going to peel off. Now I know this is a fake nail, but I don't want my nail to get old or to peel off on its own. So, because I'm going to use this as an example. Just make sure you get it all buffed out before you put on your base coat. And then once you have it all buffed out, you're going to use your black nail polish. I'm using Ria's black nail polish. I love this nail polish. It's amazing. I only had to do one coat and it's such a pure, beautiful black. And the important thing when painting this is you just want to get even strokes. You don't want any streaks or anything like that. But the good thing about this is her polish is awesome and you don't really get streaks with this. It's like a solid black. Now you're going to want to cure your nail, and depending on what kind of light you have will depend on the time that you're going to cure. I just have the Melody Susie UV LED light, so I typically cure for about 90 seconds. But again, it'll depend on whatever light you have. Then you're going to want to take some rubbing alcohol. You can choose to do this, or you can put a top coat on right after this. I don't want to make my nail bulky, so I'm going to go ahead and wipe off with some rubbing alcohol this tacky layer, because we don't want the pigments to adhere to the tacky layer. We only want it to adhere my next step, which is putting on the white, the smoky effect. So I'm just rubbing off the tacky layer of this, and then at the very end I'll go ahead and add the glossy top coat. So I'm just wiping off the tacky layer here. And then once you have your nail prepped and ready, you're going to have your alcohol handy and then your fine brush. And then first you're going to take your white nail polish. I'm using the Beetles nail polish 325, which came in a set that I got off of Amazon. And I will link all of everything that I have in this video in my description below. You're just going to want to place the white wherever you want to kind of create that smoky look on the nail. This doesn't have to be perfect. The good thing about this is if you mess up or it turns out like you don't want it, you can just simply wipe it off with alcohol. Or if you don't feel like there's enough white on it after you're playing with it a little bit, you can add more white on it. It's totally up to you. So that's the good thing about this nail, is it's so easy because you can create whatever kind of look that you're going for. And here I'm just gently kind of tapping it, taking my brush with a little bit of alcohol in it, just tapping it around where I want to create those smoky areas or that smoky effect. Just make sure that you wipe off your brush before you put it back in the alcohol. Otherwise the white will get in the alcohol, and then when you go to paint it again, it'll kind of have a little bit of a white smoky look, which you kind of don't. But you can already see the smoky look that's already been created off that. So I went ahead off camera and I did another nail. So I'm just going to cure that now for, again, 90 seconds because I have a UV LED light, but again, it's going to depend on what light you have. So here's the look. So after you cure it, you're not going to do anything as far as wiping off the top coat because you want that pigment to stick to that sticky layer of that coat. So then you're just going to determine what colors you want to use. And for this one, I decided to use the yellow, orange, pink, and green. And you're just going to take the applicator And just know that a little pigment goes a long way. So I gently just tap it in the pigment, and then you're going to rub it on whichever area you want to go. And the fun thing about this is you can play with all kinds of different colors. You can use dark colors on bright colors or whatever the case is. That's the thing. And you just gently rub on. And then when you rub on, it just sticks to that tacky layer. And then next I'm going to go in the pink. And I'm going to again rub. I'm going to rub a little bit over the green as well too, because I want to kind of make sure it transitions correctly and kind of like fades in versus a harsh line. So you'll see sometimes that I'll go back into the other color and kind of brush it in just to blend it. And there you go, there's the pink. Then I'm going to go into the orange and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to kind of create that transition, that blend with the other color, and just rub exactly where I want it to show up on that white. And then I felt there wasn't enough, like the orange kind of overtook on the pink, so I just went in with a little pink and I just kind of blended it a little bit more so the pink would show up more. And then again went with the orange and kind of just blended it out a little bit more. And then I'm going in with the yellow for the last color on the nail. And again, just gently rubbing it in there. Now you will notice that sometimes you'll have a little bit of excess pigment on there. And all you simply have to do is, that's why I have the dust brush there, is just dust it off with a dust brush. And just gently dust off all that excess pigment. And if there happens to be any stuff left over on the sides, you can even go in with a brush with some alcohol and fix it if you want to. I didn't have that problem in that time, so I didn't have to. But here I'm doing another nail with different colors, the purple, the blue, the green, and the orange. And I'm just going to go ahead and again grab a little bit of the pigment. The pigment in the purple and the blue are super pigmented, so they're super strong and get all over the place. So you just want to you don't need a lot. A lot goes a long way for those. Then I'm going to go in with the blue. Again, you don't need much. And just kind of rubbing it in, blending, and having a great transition. And then I'll add my pink. Or I'm sorry, green. And there you go. There's the finished nail. And again, you'll want to just dust off any excess there. Okay, so here's the first nail that I did. So I'm going to go ahead and apply a top glossy coat on this. And this is the Beetles Top It Off Top Gel. And this is a no wipe top gel as well. And what I do want to point out is after you're done, just because there may be a little bit pigment left over, you do want to make sure you brush off your brush before you put it back in the bottle. I did not do that, but I should have done that just in case. I don't think I got much pigment left over, but you will want to just wipe it off on a paper towel before putting it back in the bottle. But here's the finished look for that nail. Isn't that pretty? And of course you'll want to cure it. And then what I also wanted to do is show you guys how it would look matte as well. So I have the Beetles matte top coat as well, just to kind of show you the difference in effect that you can get with this. And with the matte coat, make sure you coat the whole nail. You don't want any of the shininess showing through on the nail. You want to make sure you get everything matte. And there you can see I wiped off the brush because I did notice that I got a little purple pigment on my brush. All right, and there's that look for that. And then you're going to want to cure that as well, obviously. And as I mentioned, depending on the light, it'll be different timing, but I do 90 seconds. All right, guys, and there is the finished look. The one on the right is matte and the one on the left is glossy. I don't know about you, but I am in love with this look. And I did post this on one of my nail groups that I'm in, and they wanted a tutorial. So here you go. This is my first one, so guys, be kind. But I had to just, spread the knowledge for sure, as I'm not a professional. I'm just taking up this as a hobby due to COVID. So I am in love. Look at that. That's beautiful. And of course you can play with all the colors and put different colors together. That's the awesome thing about using pigments.